Why do climbers really need to know or worry about their proximal hamstrings? Let's get into it. So, your proximal hamstrings just refer to the part of your hamstrings that are closest to your pelvis. It's where your hamstrings attach to your pelvis on the ischial tuberosity or your sits bones right down here. Now, they're called proximal just because they're close to the pelvis, and then we think of distal as being the part of the hamstring that is closer to the knee. What do our proximal hamstrings do? You can think of your proximal hamstrings like an anchor for your pelvis. So when we think about a pelvis that is really tipped forward into an anterior tilt, maybe you've seen on yourself or other people, pelvis is really doing this number right here. That means sometimes that the proximal hamstrings have lost some of their leverage to orient the pelvis underneath the rib cage. And we want that. A stacked position of the pelvis underneath the rib cage is just really great for our body for a number of different reasons. So by having a little more leverage of the proximal hamstrings, we can find that really nice posterior tilt or neutral orientation of the pelvis to help us get that stacked position. So you may be like, okay, that all sounds all right, but why do you want to care about it as a climber? This is why, because we need that neutral or stacked position in our training to get the most benefit out of our work. Now, when we're on the wall climbing, are we going to worry about having a stacked position of our pelvis under our ribcage? Hell no, no. That would be a horrible idea. But when we are training off the wall, we want to put ourselves into positions that are super advantageous to getting the most out of our core strength, to getting the most out of our posterior chain strength, so that then when we are on the wall, we have that base of strength to be able to use while we are climbing. That stacked position in our workouts off the wall allows us to create a greater base of strength, that allows us to be more efficient, that allows us to display more power, that allows us to create more tension of the wall. All those really awesome things could all be tied to finding some proximal hamstrings. So I hope this was helpful and at least educational in what the proximal hamstrings are, what they do, and why it is important for you to know about them as a climber. Be sure to check out the video on finding your proximal hamstrings so you can know exactly what they feel like, and one of my favorite ways to just start finding them and know when you are working on them. Thanks a lot. See you next time.